We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast. And we're going through the powerful video, the cool, fun video library, and hopefully you're internalizing all of these. My guess is you're probably not. My guess is people who don't internalize things don't even know they don't internalize things. They might not even know what internalization means. And it doesn't bother them that much. So we're getting into, as we go through all of these, we're getting into more advanced ones. And so this one here is The Secret About Time. So, all right. So, Elaine, did you watch this one?
Yes.
What'd you think of it?
It's good. I always like watching it repeatedly.
Yeah, because it's only 1 minute, right?
I don't know how long it is, but yeah, it's not very long.
It's only 1 minute. So any other thoughts on it?
It asked for the biggest challenge, talked about the biggest challenge and how, and I guess my biggest thing is time blocking my day to where I have my stuff all set up, but also that I am able to move things around if things need to be moved around. And that's something I have to work on.
Got it. Cheryl, did you watch the 1 minute, The Secret About Time?
I did.
What did you think of it?
There's a lot of truth in that. You think it, and then I would have to watch it again for the exact words that it had when you're reading it. But I just remember thinking that's so true on, I don't know, that if you think you don't have time, but you actually, I don't know how to explain it, Mark. I could probably explain it better right after I watch it again.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know, since it's only 1 minute, do we watch it? Maybe we do. I don't know. Ken, your thoughts on it?
Did it tell you the secret about time?
How to think differently? You have to think differently?
I missed that.
Yeah, might not have. And so,
but then as I'm thinking about it, because I did watch it right before this. Does anybody need more time?
No, you just need to learn how to block your time.
Right. I mean, we all have the same amount of time. So you don't need more time. You just need to either change what you're trying to do with your time, be better at doing what you're doing with the time, or lower your expectation of what you're doing with the time. But saying that you need more time, it's like, I've not thought about that until just now. It's like, wait a minute.
So when Ken's saying that, I'm not disagreeing with him. But again, just because I don't disagree doesn't mean I agree, right? And so, like, I understand at the dimension he's at. So in another dimension, people do have different amount of time.
Explain, please.
So I don't have 1,440 minutes in a day.
Okay.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Okay, how much do you have?
I've lost track. It's over 14,000 minutes.
Oh, because you time block, right?
No, because I know
you
the 5 time management freedom fighters.
Okay.
Which is delegate, systematize, contract out, hire someone, or partner with someone. See, other people aren't very good stewards of their own time.
So do you have could you get to a dimensional place that there's unlimited?
I didn't want to say that because that would have been something that would have, if you come up with the idea, then it's a good idea. But if I had said I have unlimited time, you'd have been a cynic. Because you said it, I'm like, that's That's a great idea. So yes, I believe I believe I have an infinite amount of time.
I can see that.
Of course you could, because it's your idea. This- so, so
I
here
saw
we
what you
have,
did there. I see what you did there.
right.
Yes.
Here you have secret about time. But here people, it's if you ask 10 people, 3.3 of them will say specifically about time. What's your biggest challenge? 3.3. You know how like children, how many children do you have? You have, I don't know, 2.12 children or something. And so it's just math. So
Isn't 3 your favorite number?
no, it's really true. Like that's really true.
No, that's a real question. Is 3 your favorite number?
Yes, it is. It is. So, and so if you go ahead and if you ask 10 people, try it, right? Don't be a cynic, just try it, see if it works for you. You didn't pay attention to our dad as much as I did, the law of large numbers. And so, if it doesn't work with 3, I just say, or 10, I just say do 100. And so 33%, 33 of the 100 people are going to say something specifically about time. They'll say, I don't have enough time. It's the number one biggest challenge that there is. The other, like it's 90, I don't even know, 99.1. I don't know. It's not 100%, but it's close to 100% that if you said to
I
somebody,
think it's 99.3.
so if you go ahead and say to those 10 people, if you had more time, do you think it would help you solve your biggest challenge? And they will say yes. All of them.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's
Yep.
gonna be fun.
Yeah. So you'd think that people would go ahead and want to solve their problems, but they don't. Why is that, Mark? That's strange. I'm not sure. I've been studying it for over, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years. I think it's because people get addicted to whining and complaining.
Why would you get addicted to something like that? Jeez.
Why are you laughing, Ken?
I think it's because the first time I heard it, I had a similar response. It's like, what? That can't be accurate. And then when you started watching and looking and paying attention, it's like, huh, there might be some truth to that.
Cheryl, have you ever had a friend that complained about something a lot?
Yes.
And have you ever had where you like, well, all you have to do is do this and it would fix it, and you give them a suggestion and they don't do the suggestion?
Yes. And I've really thought about that, friend, since I listened to that one from last Saturday, the different, what was it called?
Yeah, the energy
The
vampires.
downer, huh?
The energy vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so they don't want, what they do is they get addicted to the feeling of being a victim, or they get addicted to the feeling of entitlement, or they get addicted to the feeling of self-righteousness.
Yep.
And they all feed one another. It's amazing. Like, I think self-righteous, well, I don't know. I think they might all interconnect together. Like when you get self-righteous, all of a sudden you go ahead and become entitled. And then all of a sudden you become a victim. Or if you get a victim, you become self-righteous and then you become entitled. Or if you're entitled, then, so it's like a triangulation of destruction of the mind. It's consumption. Like sometimes with people, I'm just like I say things and I just, like, they look at me like deer in the headlights, like they've never thought about that. And I've been thinking about that since I was, I don't know, 8 years old. I'm like, what have you used your brain for? So I think people consume their brain. Like it's almost like, with Cheetos, that's not the healthiest food in the world. And so I think that's what people do. They're complaining and whining. It's crazy. So people say they want to have time. Like there was a client of ours, obviously I'd never name their name. There was a client of ours that went ahead and said, you know, Action Vision should be giving me more time. Like, you guys should be giving me more time. Like, okay, I can do that. So do the 30-day challenge. Well, I'm not going to do that. Obviously, he didn't say it back to me. He said it to somebody else that said it to me, because that's kind of how people work. Not only women, but men too. I don't know. So I give him, you know, and this guy, like, he believes the Bible, but he hasn't internalized it. He hasn't internalized the Bible. He hasn't internalized, and that's okay, because pastors don't internalize it either. You know, so they don't internalize the Bible. So it's like you know, like, I don't know if it was Naaman or something, whatever, the guy that had leprosy, and he said, go down and wash in the Jordan. If you haven't been raised conservative Baptist, GRBC, you don't understand, you know, it's like the sewage system. So there's poop, like this guy's like a leader of, so he tells them hard to do something. He doesn't come and greet him. He just tells them, go do this. And he doesn't do it. And so, you know, doesn't want to do it. He resists it, you know? And so, you know, he's like a cynic, you know, like some, again, we don't name names. But he's like the first time he dunked, I don't know if he dunked 7 times or 12 times, whatever it was. Like the first time his leprosy didn't get 1/10 healed. So it didn't get healed until it finished through. But people who are devout Christians, people who are pastors, they never internalize, like they can't internalize the Bible, the poor souls. Like they can't. So
Why
here's
not?
what's that?
Why can't they?
I thought a lot about that. And
Mika.
yeah. I mean, maybe they've never, you know, maybe they've never had a connection with their creator. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's like they're not curious. They think they know. Like they think they understand. Like knowledge puffeth up. I mean, I can't tell you how many pastors I've asked, how do you prevent that from happening? They don't want the answer to that because they went to seminary. So they don't want the answer to that. I mean, how do you make sure knowledge doesn't puff up? You do something. Like if you have 3 PhDs in child psychology and you go ahead and, you know, and you practice and people tell you how smart you are, you get up, you write books and everybody. I mean, how do you go ahead and not allow knowledge to puff up if you're a child psychologist with tons of education? It's simple, just have a child. Because when you have a child, all the books get thrown out. It's like, holy cow, this isn't like in business. I mean, I have 3 business degrees. How do I go ahead and, you know, how do I go ahead and become humble? I just go do business because business is humbling. It's just humbling. It's like, it just is. And so, you know, pastors, they deal with so much temporal, superficial, surface stuff, you know, they don't even like going deep. I mean, I've got an uncle that, like, his goal when he came to visit me, I said, what's your goal? And he said to have a superficial surface conversation with you. It's like, oh, okay. So how's the weather, Uncle Gary? Yeah, it's nice outside. Look at the water. But a temporal, it wasn't hard. It gets easy to have a, you know, superficial surface. And so on this here on time, so there's Life Masteries went ahead and heard that I went ahead years ago. They heard that I had an extra 20 or 30 hours of free time a week. So they said, hey, Mark, can you do videos for us to train people? I'm like, sure. So then I did the first day, the 3-for-1 principle. Then I did day 2, the Mach 1. Day 3, Life Vision. Day 4, the 5 time management freedom finders. Day 5, the 5 H's to success. Day 6, 7 T's to stewardship. Day 7, the 9, the next dimension. Day 8, the 80-20 rule. Day 9, the 530 grid. And day 10, personality masteries. And it was crazy. It was just amazing. Just amazing. And then, but people, they'd watch these things and they don't get it. They don't internalize it. They don't internalize it. So then I come up with a 30-day challenge. And I don't think anybody's ever done it. People have tried, but they've never succeeded. First thing, if you want more time, memorize how much time you have in the day, 1,440 minutes. Memorize how much time you have in a week, 10,080 minutes. So the reason we don't have time, an abundance of time, more than 1,440 minutes, is because we don't steward our time well. But people don't want to steward their time well. Why is that, Mark? Because they want to just do things that feel good. They don't want to be good. They just want to feel things. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I'm sorry.
So, the 30-day challenge is you go through, it's simple. It's only 10 minutes. The average video is 6 minutes long. So this one's 14 minutes. This one's 3 minutes. This one's 7 minutes. So the average is 6 minutes long. So you do 6-minute video once a day on average. And then you go ahead and take 4 minutes to manage up and out to a handful of people, whatever. And you go ahead and every day you do it, you go through this video and then you share your thoughts and pass this along to a core group of people. And you do it for 10 days. One video a day for 10 days. Then from 11 to 20, you go through a second time and you expand how many people you're communicating with. You're sharing them the 10, what you're doing on the 30-day challenge. If you miss one day, you start over.
Okay.
So the issue with time largely is discipline. People aren't disciplined. They're not disciplined with their time. So you go through again. Now, the second time you go through, you're going to see something different in the videos than you did the first time. And your brain's going to start to internalize. Your brain's going to start to internalize and combine them together. So it's not linear. It's like doing calculus. It's like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all combined together. So these things are like, it's into my very DNA. Everything's in, like, this is all into my DNA. It's how it's reflex. It's reflex. It's like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. That's what it is. So it's all reflex. It's how we think. So in the day one, it gives you the story of the 3-for-1 principle. It tells how the 30-day challenge, how I got an extra 20. I'm working on average 60 hours a week, with some weeks going up to 110 hours a week. And all of a sudden I went ahead and did what is explained in the day one challenge. And I took risk and I was willing to work hard at it. I was willing to take tremendous risk. I thought doing what I did in day one, I thought it was going to blow up my marriage. I thought it was going to mess everything up, my family, everything. I took tremendous risk to do. And Stan Lambert, he's the one that actually revealed it to me. Like all 500 other plus natural laws, when you hear them, you're like, that makes sense. This is the only one of the 500 plus natural laws that's ever been discovered. It's the only one that makes no sense. How do you get 3 minutes back for every minute? It makes no sense. Your mind cannot, it's going into a dimension of faith. Like, you cannot go ahead and understand this. You have to do it. But even once you understand it, or once you're exposed to it, you cannot go ahead. You won't experience it until you experience it. Now, I don't know what it was 5, 6 years ago. I realized these 10 videos weren't enough. There's another 10 videos, but I said, I'm not going to do those 10 videos until I have at least 3 people who actually successfully go through the 30-day challenge. Gaining the extra 20, 30 hours of free time a week, that's easy. It really is. It's not hard. What's hard is keeping it. So that's been, I don't know, 15, 20 years, I think it's been since I discovered this. And so keeping it is hard because everybody's like energy vampires, time vampires. Everybody's after your time. So there's another 10 videos that I want to do. Like if you go through the 30-day challenge and it doesn't work, okay, do it again. If it doesn't work, do it again. I mean, keep doing it until you figure it out, or you don't want it, like the 5 levels of want. So Elaine, if you could write down the next 10 videos, maybe number 1 video on phase 2 is going to be internalization. I was talking to somebody very dear to me on Friday, and I said, I don't know if you've had anything significant happen in your life. That might seem like a cruel thing to say, but maybe it's not. Like, so I don't know, or maybe video 1. So it might be internalization, or it might be significance. So Elaine, we got to come up with what are the next 10 videos. Another one is going to be internalization. How do you internalize things? So there's so many videos that we could do. So we got to select the best next 10. And then what we'll do is we can do it in this group. I mean, if there's 3 of you that go through the 30-day challenge, go through together. It's a lot easier. And then realize you have a path. I didn't. You don't have to take the risk I took. So it's going to be hard for you to gain the benefit because you didn't take the risk. You didn't make the sacrifice. Like, so the next 30-day, I think it's, I don't know, same thing. So I don't know. I mean, it's just weird to me. So I wonder, like, do people not want to solve their time problem? Like subconsciously, do people understand that our creator created us to do something amazing, but we're going to have to do things we don't enjoy doing. And so I'm going to get to a point where I enjoy doing it. Like Ken, he'll understand that. Like if my mom and dad weren't so good financially, like, man, they were monsters financially. They had never made much money until, as latter years in life. And even then, most people would say that's not a lot of money. Man, they were frugal. And so my parents might still be alive today if they weren't so frugal, if they weren't so good with money. Ken's probably given that a lot of thought. Questions? Anyone?
Why would you say that they would probably still be alive if they weren't so frugal?
Because they went ahead and probably be working at McDonald's or working at Walmart as a greeter. So they lost, like I did a whole project on, over 60 and, and loving life. So over 60 and loving life. Ken said to me, Mark, I'm concerned about you. I'm like, why are you concerned? He's like, because I don't know if mom and dad are going to do it. And I poured a lot of time into that. A lot of time, a lot of money. He says, I don't know they're going to do it. I realized, my own brother, he doesn't know me, which is fine. It's okay. He just doesn't understand. Like I'm not doing it for mom and dad. I am. Without them, I wouldn't have done it. but I understand that. You guys can keep talking.
What just happened?
Hey, Ben,
Hello.
good to have you here. Luke, are you on the phone? Luke Boersma?
Yes.
All right. What do you want to accomplish today?
I mean, the secret about time. I'm just learning some things, so I'm interested. Faith seems
You
to that
wanna
was an
read
interest.
Luke's subconscious?
What was that?
Does anyone want to read Luke's subconscious?
I would like to.
Does anybody care about Luke?
I care about.
So
They need to be honest. They need to tell me I'm stupid, and I need to get on the train.
right, the next podcast, I'm telling you, you've never been part of a podcast like the next one. So I met Luke's girlfriend this last week, had a conversation with her. She's an amazing lady. She's an amazing lady. I don't know that she talked to him about our conversation, but that's okay. So, yeah, she's interesting. All right. Anybody else have anything else?
No, but I need to get off here, so
Yep.
have a great day, guys.
Thanks, you too. So, so this one here is, the secret about time is really, really interesting. And so, the next one is going to be even like this one here. And this is Jonathan. I don't know how many, 50 or 100 of these 1-minute videos he created. And this was the first one. The secret about time was the first video, the 1-minute video he created of all of them. So it has meaning there. But when I first saw it, I just like, wow. This one here, he actually did for Kevin King. The next one, 17, he actually did for Kevin King. Kevin King's son was 25 years old and he died, brain aneurysm. And Jonathan did this video for Kevin and showed it to him at a coffee connection. And Kevin started crying. So, we're getting into a little deeper stuff here. These stuff are funny, interesting, profound. But as we get deeper into this, we start getting into more significant things. And then 18, I can't even wait until 18. Like, oh my goodness, 18 will just scary. Yeah, 18 is crazy. So if you have any questions on this, think about who do you care about, and then pass this along. Pass this along to other people you care about. And see what they have about the secret about time. If you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300 outside the US, 630-393-9909. Always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.